Welcome to Real Estate Radio with Damon Gettier.
Welcome to Real Estate Radio with Damon Gettier. If you want to reach Damon and his team, you can go to listwithdamon.com. That's listwithdamon.com. So we've talked about you. We've talked about your business. We've talked about your life, your family. Let's talk a little bit about real estate. So just getting into the brass tacks of things, tips, tricks, and hacks in selling your home. You know them all, don't you?
I know a lot. I won't say all, but I know many.
So tell me about just the market right now. Are we in a soft market? Is it an easy market? Is it a hard market to sell in? Where are we?
So we are still in the seller's market. And let me help with the definition. The real estate industry defines a seller's market as less than 6 months of inventory on the market. A balanced market is 6 months on the market, and a buyer's market is more than 6 months inventory on the market.
Meaning when you list your home is on the market for 6 months or longer.
Correct.
Yeah, gotcha.
Correct. Yep.
So, and what market are we?
We're in a seller's market still.
Okay, so the homes are selling in less than 6 months.
Correct.
Typically.
On average, they are.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you always have ones that real estate's all about location, condition, and price. And you always have ones that are in bad condition that don't sell. You always have ones that are overpriced that don't sell. And you always have ones that are in bad locations and don't sell. But as long as you line up the location, condition, and price, if those are in line, then they're selling in less than 6 months right now.
All right, then let me ask you this. I want to upgrade and I want to sell my home since we're kind of still at the kind of top-ish of the market. Mm-hmm. And I want to buy a bigger home, a nicer home, a more expensive home. What kind of market is it for that?
You're still in a seller's market.
Okay, so it's good.
So it's good.
Okay, what if I have a really expensive home and I want to downsize, I'm retiring and I want to move into a smaller home. Is it a good market for that?
Yes.
Okay.
So everything has a caveat to it. So when you say really expensive, how expensive is really expensive?
I don't know, $1 million.
$1 million? So $1 million's going to take longer to sell than a $400,000. And it's simply because there's less buyers. You know, in this market, in the Roanoke Valley, our average price is still in the mid 300s, you know? And I was actually interviewed by WSLS last week, and it's funny, 8-minute interview gets chopped up into 20 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
But, and they stated on there, the average sales price is $440,000. It's not. That's the median. And median and average are two different things. The average sale price is mid threes.
Yeah.
If it was really 440, that would be a problem here because we don't have the income in the valley to support that. The average sales price is in the 330s. And so if you have $1 million house, it's going to take longer to sell because there's less buyers for it. There are buyers. There's just less buyers for $1 million property than there are for a $300,000 property.
We always tout that you sell homes faster and for more money. Part of that are your own tips, tricks, and hacks. And one thing that I've talked about on my radio show for a long time, I think this still holds true, but you spend more on marketing, way more on marketing than the average real estate agent, right?
Yeah, I would virtually guarantee that I spend more money on marketing than anyone in this market. Anyone. I would almost guarantee, and I'd have to like sit down and look at a list and think about it, but I almost would say I spend more money than any company does. And it's simply because I don't look at myself, I'm a real estate agent, I have a real estate license. I don't position myself as that. I position myself as I'm a marketing company with a real estate license. So I specialize in marketing properties, and that works to the buyer's benefit, it works to the seller's benefit. You know, we sell a lot of properties off market. We represent a lot of buyers that buy houses that never hit the market because we can find the houses before they hit the market.
But when you say that, and you just said the key, and that was what I wanted to get to, you're not marketing you're marketing homes. The reason you're marketing is because you want to, if I list with you, you want to make sure that marketing gets out. I see, when I'm on Instagram, I see your stuff come across my Instagram all the time going, you know, this home just sold, this home just went up, this home just sold. That's the kind of marketing to make sure that your listers and buyers are getting marketed, right?
Correct. And it's funny, people get annoyed by it. Sometimes we get some bad comments, whatnot.
What people?
But people on the internet. And the reason is this.
Oh, get annoyed by those?
By the ads.
Oh, I got you.
The properties.
I like to see that. I want to see what's on the market. I don't know, even on the market to buy, and I want to see it.
But you got to understand, some people wake up in the morning wanting to be upset, you know? And so it's one of those things, so we pay for technology, okay? That if you talk about buying a house, if you talk about, hey, should we sell our house, or what is your house worth? Like, we pay for the technology. Everybody knows Alexa's listening. Everybody knows your phone's listening, okay? We pay for the data layers to market to the people who are saying stuff indicated buying or selling motivation. We're buying those data layers so that we can market to those people.
So if I say to my wife, honey, tonight I think I want to watch Home Alone, Bam, there's Damon Gettier.
If you say I wanted to buy Home Alone, maybe. If I wanted to sell Home Alone, maybe. And it's funny because we all know it does it. And then some people think it's a rumor or it's a myth. No, it's real. We have data layers. Like if you walk into Lowe's, walk into Home Depot, what do I know? If you walk into Home Depot or Lowe's, I know you're a homeowner. I know you are. The odds of you being a renter and walking into Home Depot or Lowe's are very, very minimal.
Yeah, right.
Okay. And so we know your phone went in with you. So we know. And when I say we,
this is very transparent, man. You're really pulling the curtain back.
Well, I'm just saying, when I say we, it's not me. They don't send me a list and have 18 names on there and say these 18 people walked in. We buy the data layer. So the software we use identifies these people. They don't give names and address or anything like that. It's an IP address. And then we serve ads on whatever social those people go on so that we're exposing your home. So if you list your home with us, that's what our goal is to get your home in front of as many people as possible. And we're not going to rely on them going to find it. I don't want them having to go to my website or Realtor.com or Zillow to find the house. I want to put it in front of their face. Where am I going to put it? Where they spend their time. If you look at a phone, most people spend more than 4 hours a day on their phone. And so I'm going to serve those ads up in front of them where they are.
You also do radio. I mean, you've been on my show for 15 years, almost, going on 2 decades, but also just to get the word out that, you've got homes to sell. You're in the market to buy homes. And speaking of buying homes, cash offers on your homes, what's the least and most amount you'll spend on homes? Or is it just open-ended?
It's open-ended. It just depends. It depends on the situation. And I will say this, paying cash for homes, everybody does need to understand that that is a for-profit business. If your house is worth $400 and you want a cash offer for $400, that doesn't make any sense.
Like
No, it doesn't. I have to buy it, fix it, and then sell it. And I would tell you that the average...
And make a profit.
But I would tell you the average we spend on a house fixing is north of $50,000.
Yeah. I believe that.
I was talking to another guy in the market that is doing it far longer than I have. His name's Barry. And Barry's like, I can't touch a house for less than $50,000. It's just the cost of everything's gone so much. And by the time you paint it, put a roof in, put an HVAC, update the kitchen, update the bathroom, you're $80,000.
Yeah.
When someone's buying a house that's been quote unquote flipped, they expect it to be nice. They don't expect you to buy a house, vacuum it, sweep it, and put it back on the market. They want it. They want some of the niceties to it. And it's going to cost money.
So I don't really know how you market that. I've seen those We Buy Homes and all this kind of stuff, and I'll get stuff in the mail every now and then. But I feel like, if somebody, I would hope that you're top of mind when somebody wants to get a cash offer on their home, that you're already there because you're going to give them a fair offer, aren't you?
We are. And it's something we ought to do a whole segment down the road about the difference between a cash buyer and a wholesaler also.
Yeah, I want to get into that at some point.
Because we
could spend a whole show on that.
We could spend 2 or 3 shows on it. I will tell everybody this. If you're going to sell your house for cash to somebody and they don't have a definite closing date on it, like we are closing on it this date, if your contract's more than, let me give some grace here and say 2 pages, then you have what's called a wholesaler, and they're not buying your house. Their sole objective is to put your house under contract, lock it up, and then find a buyer for it that they're going to sell it to. They have no intention of closing on it. And the problem I see with that is it really and truly damages the consumer. And the reason it damages the consumer is once you write that contract on the house, you can't do anything with it. It's legally yours, but they have a right to the title, which means you cannot sell it to anybody else until that contract goes away. And we see a lot of people that have a house going towards foreclosure that you get a wholesaler tie it up. And I could buy it. I could buy it, stop the foreclosure. And I cannot because they have it under contract. They're trying to sell the contract, and they will carry that contract all the way to closing, or all the way to foreclosure. And it's just unfortunate. So I would say if there's several companies out here that do what I do, buying houses, and I would tell you, find somebody, if they're going to buy a house, it needs to be less than a two-page contract. Anything more than that, and it's just listing all the ways they can get out of the contract. Ours is 1 page, and it needs to have a definite closing date. Like we are closing on this date, period. And that period is subject to having clean title. Like it can't have judgments or anybody else has a claim to the title. But as long as it's got clean title, we can close on it in 3 weeks probably.
So the difference between a cash buyer and Damon Gettier is what?
Between a cash buyer and Damon Gettier?
Yeah.
Same thing.
No, I'm just saying because I know I've said before on the radio that...
No, it's a wholesaler. So
no, I know the wholesaler, but
yeah,
the difference is when you buy with cash, you close.
I close.
when some of those people buy with cash, may or may not close. That was my point.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. You're coming to a cash buyer for a solution to a problem, and you don't want to come to somebody for a solution to a problem for them to hand the problem back to you in 60 days.
Yeah.
When you write an offer write a contract with us, we're closing on the house. Two things we're doing. And let me clarify this, because we had somebody the other day ask us a very good question, because they went on the internet, rightfully so, and found out some information that said that a lot of flippers will do a home inspection and beat them up. And so every single house we buy, doesn't matter. Every single house we buy, every client we represent, always recommend everybody get a home inspection. We do the same thing. We put a house under contract to buy. Two things it's subject to. Clean title, meaning you have to have the ability to sell it as the owner, okay? Clean title, we're good. We do a home inspection. All we're looking for is surprises, okay? All we're looking for, and what are we looking for surprises? Stuff we didn't know you didn't tell us. Structural issues, mold.
It's illegal, isn't it? That has to be disclosed.
No, it doesn't. So the owner doesn't have to disclose it. They cannot conceal it. So it's illegal for them to conceal it. They don't have to disclose it. Okay. We're in a Virginia is a disclaimer state, so I can disclaim. I can say, I'm not telling you anything. I don't know anything. I'm not hiding anything. Doesn't mean we have to disclose. And so I'm looking for uh-ohs, like a house broken into. It happens. Mold, mildew. You told me the HVAC's good and the HVAC's bad. Because HVAC now, a cheap HVAC now is $8,000.
Oh, yeah.
Like 4 years ago, it was $4,000. It's gone out of the world. Roof is rotted. Stuff that I can't see from the outside is all I'm looking for. If it's cosmetic, I know I'm going to spend $50,000 to $80,000 a house. I know that. Floors need to be redone. Windows got to be replaced. I knew that. I saw that. Not an issue.
So if you question if you're dealing with a wholesaler or an actual cash buyer, if you have questions, they can email you, right?
Yeah, they can email. Questions? They can call in. We'll tell them. We have good rapport with them. And if they're legit, I'll tell you they're legit.
There you go.
Well,
you can reach out to Damon at listwithdamon.com. That's listwithdamon.com.